А девушки, где они? Где Сауля и Daria? Сегодня вы тут. Where are they? Oh, excuse me.
Be here. Daria wrote in the blog that she'd have to miss because it's Mathematician's Day and she has a lot of things going on.
Okay, I beg your pardon. No, I'm looking at it right now. Okay, and Saulia. Well, okay.
Well, why don't we go ahead and get started? I think, Joe, you were talking about feminine nouns describing people, and so I think the one that we definitely want to talk about is barista, right?
Barista. Yes. Fiat. Красивый barista.
All right. Joe, do you want to share one of your photos of Starbucks?
I could. Let's see. Let me pull one up. Just a second. Just hang on.
Katerina, have you ever been to Starbucks? Have you been to the coffee chain Starbucks?
No, because there isn't Starbucks in Omsk.
There is no Starbucks in Omsk. Okay. And Lisa, what about you?
Me too. I never be in Starbucks.
And have you heard about it? Have you heard about Starbucks?
In all American films, I hear about this coffee.
Ah, yes. Very in films and television, right?
Yes.
And what about another coffee house? Have you been to a coffee house before?
Yes, in Omsk there are few coffee houses, but not Starbucks.
Not Starbucks.
Can you in your coffee houses in Omsk? Could everybody see the picture on the board? It's called Frapp 2. Pull down the tab that says Frapp 2. Everybody got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Frapp 2. So, do you have in your coffee houses in Omsk? Do you have Frappuccino?
Maybe in any coffee house there is Frappuccino, but I'm not taste this this coffee.
Okay,
you
all right.
haven't tried it. Okay.
But you see, there are all kinds of choices to have with Frappuccino. This is not just one drink. Frappuccino has all kinds of choices. So how would you, in English, looking at this menu, Lisa, how would you order a Frappuccino, please? You'd say, "Мне, пожалуйста, Frappuccino," and the barista would say, "Какое?" "Какое," I don't know what it is. "Какое." And what would you say in English?
I want milk, normal milk.
Normal milk, yeah.
Plain milk.
Plain milk, okay. And what else?
Extra coffee.
Extra coffee, okay. And
I think almond.
Almond, oh, good choice.
Very nice.
Very good, very elegant, very elegant.
Yes.
Okay, Katya, how about you? Мне, пожалуйста, Frappuccino. Is it один Frappuccino or одно Frappuccino? Одно. But now you can say один coffee. Okay, Lisa. Katya, I meant to say. So, мне Frappuccino, пожалуйста. And she says, "Какое?" And you say, in English?
I think with normal milk,
Okay.
Plain milk.
extra coffee,
Extra coffee. Okay, good.
and vanilla.
And what kind?
Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Almond. Okay, good. Vanilla. Okay. Saleh, good to see you this morning.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you too. I don't like coffee. Do I have to choose?
Well,
Is Starbucks? Have you ever been to Starbucks, Soul?
Yeah, I've been in Spain in Starbucks. We don't have Starbucks in Omsk. We have a local system, local coffee magazine, maybe. Or
Shop, yeah.
yeah. It calls Kuratov. It calls Господи, Travelers, and so on. Data Tinto, and so on.
And tell us about the atmosphere in the coffee house, Soleil. Are all the people young or old or?
Most of people are young, and I think, but there are different levels of these magazines. Some of them very, no, not to say cheap, but have a medium price, and some of them are very expensive, and there are more older people than in usual.
Listen, I need to. I'm going to interrupt your discussion, but about the young people in the Starbucks, okay? Young girls especially. So I say to you, Saleh, this is a Russian question, okay? I say to you, сколько там красивых девушек, right? And you say to me, там 5 красивых девушек, or там 5 красивые девушек?
Красивых.
Okay, thank you. Sure. Now, thank you very much. Professor Smith, I didn't mean to derail that. So
This is an interesting grammar question.
Okay, I think I've settled it for the day. It's unanimous so far.
What we're going to ask everybody to do today is think about coffee houses. Think about your reactions when you go to a coffee house. And I'm going to give you a URL, and we would like everybody to go to that URL and find 3 sentences. So when you click on this URL, what people think in Starbucks. So Saleh said in an average coffee house, it might have young, maybe trendy people. And what sort of thoughts go through your mind? Do you think, boy, I'm old when I go to a coffee house like Starbucks because everybody is younger? Or I think, boy, what an odd variety of coffees there are. We'd like everybody to click on this link and select 3 reactions that you might have when you go to Starbucks or you go to a coffee house. Saleh, does that make sense? Lisa, do you understand what we're doing?
Yes, I understand.
Right, so pick 3 from this list. Katya, do you understand? Pick 3 from the list.
Yes.
And they have to be 3 different ones. So if somebody picks one, you have to pick another one so that you give us 3 unique thoughts. And I'll also ask Professor Storm and Lero and Marston maybe to pick 1 or 2 of their favorites from this list as well. Okay? We're going to make all the teachers work today.
You bet. Okay. Do I have to put it in the chat room?
Let's go ahead and put the number of the sentences that you're going to pick in the chat room. And then we'll ask everybody to talk about their sentences.
Okay.
we'll give everybody about a minute to put all of their numbers in the chat, and then we're going to talk about them.
Carly, honest to God, I just selected exactly the same 3 as you did.
41, I think, is a universal favorite, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How could we have picked out exactly the same 3? It must mean probably from your grandmother.
Maybe.
Your bad grandmother, right?
Yeah, bad grandmother.
Okay, in that case, now I have to redo everything. 30.
Sorry.
I missed the story about Carly's grandmother. What?
I said that if it were me, it's because he asked how I would answer that question about the and of course me, grammar has never been my particularly strong suit. I said, well, I'm probably wrong, but I say and then I said, that's probably my bad grammar. And then he said later to Professor Marston and Carly said it was that it was because of her grandmother. And I said, no, not my grandmother, but my bad grammar.
Maybe you should blame your grammar teachers, which may have been Joe and Pete, right? At one point.
No, I swear, some things they probably take decades to sink in my head when it comes to Russian grammar. Yes, but I said I wish I could blame my grandmother, but no.
See, let me get back into the presenting mode. I am not. I got to show you this because it's right here. Wait, just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can get that right. This is always a trick. We're in this page. Can you see it right there?
Yeah.
Simplified rule, okay? What does it say?
Nominative plural for feminine with 2, 3, and 4, right?
The genitive plural. How about 5? It's 5 the one. 5 down at the very lowest one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it says nominative plural for feminine. Oh, I've been asking the wrong question. Lisa, can you say?
Do it with 4. Yeah, try it with 4.
Can you say четыре красивые девушек or четыре красивых девушек?
Сколько 4 красивых девушки?
Oh, девушки. Oh, молодец.
Yeah.
Красивых девушки.
Да. Yes.
4 красивые.
Салей.
Если вопрос сколько, то сколько девушек?
Да. 3.
3?
3.
Сколько? 3 красивых девушки.
Okay. Сколько 3? Okay.
Профессор.
Saleh, do you agree with that?
Ну,
3 красивых or красивее?
вы будете говорить не 3, а 3 красивых девушек.
3.
3 красивых девушек. Да. Там еще 4. Или 3 красивые. Лиза. Там...
3 красивые, да.
Сколько девушек? Если вопрос звучит сколько девушек...
Ну, ответ же. Лиз, склонитесь на ответ. Я увидел 3 красивые девушки. Я увидел... Сколько там красивых девушек? 3 красивые девушки. Я увидел 3 красивых девушек.
Да.
Понимаешь?
No, but use it when the number is the subject of the sentence. Здесь 3 красивее. Красивее or красивых?
Я увидел 3
Если
красивые
просто
девушки.
говорить здесь... Нет, если просто утвердительное предложение. Здесь 3 красивые девушки.
Красивые девушки.
А если ответ на вопрос?
В общем, роль в падежах. Какой вопрос, на какой вопрос вы отвечаете? What question do you answer? There are 6 Падеж in Russian.
Right. 6. Okay. Sure. Thank you again. Gosh almighty. All right.
This is good. Well, let's start with, let's see here. Kate, you picked number 12, 14, and 20. So why don't you read number 12 to us, Kate, and help us understand it. Katya.
It will probably move fast, right?
Yes, and so why is that funny for you, or why does that resonate with you?
I think the line in such kind of coffee house are very long, and you should wait too long for your turn.
Yeah, very nice. And I don't know if you saw the two I picked. I picked number 9. I hope there isn't a line, but there's always a line. And then number 11, how the hell is the line so long? So you're exactly right, Katya. There's always a long line. Read number 14 for us.
It is so loud, but it smells like caffeine and espresso and heaven here. I already feel more awake.
Explain that for me. Why do you go to a coffee house?
I go to coffee house not very often because honestly I don't like coffee very much. But I like the smell of coffee.
Yeah. And do you drink tea? Do you like to drink tea?
Yes, I like tea and water, but not coffee.
And you like your tea hot, right?
Yes.
Here in Texas, we have iced tea, right? Which is very, very popular here in Texas, but not in very many other places of the world. Very nice. And when you go, Katya, to the coffee house, can you get tea as well?
I think if we go to coffee house, I should ask coffee.
Find coffee, right? It's sort of against the spirit of the visit, isn't it? Do number 20. Do number 20, Katya. You also pick number 20.
I will get an ice cream meal. Maybe I should mix it up and go today.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. So when you go to a coffee house, right, Katya, you can can you get just plain coffee? Katya? Katya, when you go to that coffee house, is there what is funny about iced skinny vanilla latte? Why is that unique? Oh, did we lose Katya?
I can see them.
Maybe we can jump to Elizaveta. Lisa, what 3 did you pick? I'm looking here. Can you read the first one you picked and tell us the number, Lisa?
Number 8, thank goodness I'm getting coffee. I can already feel a caffeine headache. Sorry, setting in.
Right. And so tell me about that. Explain that to me a little bit.
When I very, very love coffee, and when I can get my coffee for a long time, I feel
that you feel different, right? Maybe you get a headache or you don't get a headache, right?
Yes. I get that describe
Your own life, right?
my condition.
Ah, yes, your own predicament maybe or condition. So experience. There's the word I'm looking for. So do you like coffee, Lisa?
I very like coffee.
You really like it, yeah. You really like it. And how many cups a day do you have? Do you have 3 cups or 5 cups or 10 cups?
3, 5.
3 to 5. Yeah, very nice, very nice. What's another one? What's the next sentence you pick?
Number 37.
37.
Finally, my time to shine.
Finally, my time to shine. What does that mean in the coffee house?
It means when you wait in a line and there is and when you get the coffee, you can say, that's my time to shine.
Right, very nice. Finally, I'm at the front of the line. It's my time to shine, to be a star, right? And what was the third one?
67. Take sip of coffee. I wish my veins flowed with tobacco instead of blood.
Ah, so you really do like coffee, don't you?
Yes, I really like coffee.
Very nice. Very good choices. I think we found our coffee addict, right? Excellent. Why don't I jump to Professor Storm? Professor Storm, can you tell us which ones you liked?
Sure. I chose 41, 42, and 43 all in a row. Because first,
41.
Yeah, 41, 42, 43. So 41, I cannot believe how expensive a cup of coffee is.
Yes, 41. Very important. Everybody thinks that in Starbucks, right?
Yeah, it's so much. It's ridiculous. But then I feel guilty about it. I go through a phase where first I'm getting ready and it's expensive. And then I think, I really should make this coffee myself. I should get a special machine, and I bet you I'd save money over the long run. I like these fancy coffees, but I'm sure I could come up with something that's just as good. And then I think, no, who am I kidding? who am I kidding? I can't. It just tastes better. Everything tastes better when somebody else makes it for you.
Ah, that's a good point. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
I've never been able to make a caramel macchiato that tastes like it does when it's from Starbucks. Or any place, actually.
And that sort of sums up 42 and 43, right? Can't spend it when you're dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean? Chalet or Lisa, what does that mean? Can't spend it when you're dead.
Spend it. What number?
43.
43.
So Carly said she was feeling guilty about spending the money on coffee. So maybe 1 cup of coffee, $3. And so she feels guilty. And then she says, well, can't spend it when you're dead. So what does that mean?
Well, Carly has put the common paraphrase in the chat.
Yeah, sometimes we'll say you can't take it with you.
You can't take it with you. And what are we talking about there?
So what are we talking
about? When you don't want to, you explained almost everything, didn't you? I don't know what to explain because Mr. Carly and Professor I can't find your surname. Almost explained it, almost everything. We have the same expression. Ты не унесешь с собой в могилу when you don't want to. You don't have to be жадным. Жадным.
There's an old joke about a very wealthy man who had a lot of gold, and at one point of he was a guardian angel said to him, "Sir, you have been such a good man all your life. I will grant you one wish." God said that I could grant you one wish. He said, "Here's my wish. When I die, I want to take my gold with me to heaven." And they said, "Well, okay, that's an unusual wish, but we made you a promise and we will grant you our wish." So when he died and he appeared at the gates of heaven, St. Peter said to him, "Welcome to heaven, sir. I see that you have these bags with you. What are in those bags?" And he opened them and he said, "Look." And St. Peter said, "Oh, wonderful, but I don't understand why you bought paving material with you." Pavement material with you.
And paving material is what you put on roads, and so the thing that you need to be sure to know in order to understand this is that there is a tradition among some that says the streets of heaven are paved with gold.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't know it immediately either. I'm really bad.
Oh, all right. Well,
excellent. Well, Saleh, why don't you tell us your three? Which three did you pick?
I wrote it. It's 7, 41, and 57.
So read you said the first one was 7?
47.
Oh, 47.
57, 41, and 13. You discussed 13 and 41. 41 was from Carly.
Okay.
And 57, but my name is Sam, not Dan. My name is not always so simple for coffeeman's waitress or some, or how can I call them? And they write it with mistakes, with different kind of mistakes. And
so all different ways of writing your name. Yes. So when the barista writes your name on the cup, it's never right.
It's always different names on my cups.
You should keep them in a collection, right?
Yeah.
Or take pictures of them. Very nice. And you said we've talked about the other two?
Yes, we've talked about 13 and 41. It's about price for coffee, and Professor Marston wrote 13, but we didn't discuss it yet. It's about
why don't you do it?
How are there so many people here just sitting around drinking their Starbucks? Don't they have jobs to go to?
Yes.
It's always amazing for me, but there are so many young men. When we get a chance or some break in our work and we can go to coffee house near the university, it's always amazing how it's always a line. It's from young people, and they don't look like they hurry for something or busy. They just spend their time during a day. They're talking, chatting with them.
Drinking coffee, and you think, do they have jobs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Professor Marston, what were the other two you picked?
Let's see. I have to go back and look, actually. Number one
Ah.
There's no way I'm going to survive today without Starbucks.
Ah, very nice. So another coffee addict, maybe.
Yes, I'm a strange kind of, maybe I'm a conceptual coffee addict because normally I don't drink caffeine at all. And so I go to Starbucks and order a decaf drink. So I have espresso coffee, 3 shots, using non-fat milk, in a 16-ounce cup. No sugar, no frills, a triple decaf non-fat latte with extra foam. That's what I order.
Wow, you need to type that in the chat. That's
I will do that.
And Professor Marson knows that when I go into Starbucks, I want just plain coffee. So we are opposite ends of the spectrum. My drink is very plain, and her drink is very specialized, very sophisticated. Professor Lira, what do you? What were your favorites on this list?
Well, I selected number 30 and 31 and 32. Okay. 30, 31, and 32. Oh, look at the pastries. Maybe I should order one. Which is good. Starbucks often has quite nice pastries. Maybe a donut or a slice of pound cake is number 32. Maybe a donut. Traditionally, Katya, Lisa, Saleh, in American culture, the thing that you eat with coffee is donuts. Coffee and donuts. Coffee and donuts. It's like ham and eggs or something like that. So coffee and donuts.
It's always associated with the police in my mind.
Yes, the police. The police eat coffee and donuts.
Coffee and donuts.
Or a slice of pound cake. A pound cake is a dense cake, and it's very good, and it's called pound cake because in the original recipes you would take a pound of sugar and a pound of flour and a pound of eggs to make this cake. Pound of butter. Oh yeah, pound of everything. So, but my favorite, when I go to Starbucks, this is true. This is true. I order a slice of lemon pound cake. They have lemon pound cake at Starbucks, and oh, it is absolutely my favorite. Lemon pound cake. And the pumpkin, but I have pumpkin. And the third one is, wait, they sell oatmeal here? Who the hell would buy oatmeal at Starbucks? Everyone knows what oatmeal is?
Yeah.
Okay. So oatmeal, kasha. Why would they sell oatmeal at Starbucks?
Oh. When I'm traveling, it is, I don't like sweet breakfast, and I quite often will look for a Starbucks and order oatmeal with my coffee. And
you have like double foam on it and almond syrup?
No, you don't need those things because it comes with nuts and dried fruits and sugar or honey. And I don't think they serve it with milk, but there's milk there on the condiments bar.
Oh, I would not get oatmeal at Starbucks. No, but it does sound good, and I can imagine the circumstance. No, I can't imagine the circumstance.
You can.
So,
and they also have sandwiches now too.
They have what?
They have sandwiches.
Sandwiches. Well, one of my favorite breakfasts is a tuna fish sandwich.
Well, I haven't seen that at Starbucks yet.
No.
It would be
That
a
never-
very specialized, expensive tuna fish sandwich.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! They would, but normally they have egg and cheese on ciabatta or something like that.
That's good. Yeah.
That doesn't mean I don't love the pastries at Starbucks. It's just that they break out on my hips almost immediately.
Well,
And they have very good scones.
last question, Soleil. When you go to a coffee house and get coffee, what kind of foods are there for you to eat? What kind of pastries or other foods?
For me, my favorite food in coffee house is some sweeties, mini brownies, brownies with chocolate, with some pieces of chocolate is my
Chunks,
favorite.
Chocolate chunks.
Yes, with chocolate, yes. And
Very
that's all I
nice.
guess. We usually get coffee, and that's all, because we have a short break and we don't have time to eat.
Don't have time to eat.
Yes.
And Kate, you were the coffee addict. Do you even get food when you go to a coffee house?
Yes, I get either sandwiches or something like that, or tiramisu.
And Lisa, what kind of food do you get?
I like eat cake with my coffee. Cake.
A little bit of cake, yeah. Donuts may be more of an American tradition, Professor Leo, I think.
I think so. And on the subject of donuts, by the way, there are two kinds of donuts. There are raised donuts, which are fluffy and airy, and there are cake donuts, which are dense. And I am a cake donut fan.
I am as well. Well, let's all take a sip of our coffee and turn it back over to Carly to keep working on our bigger themes today. Thank you all. Very good discussion of Starbucks.
Oh, I have to tell you though, it's been pure torture for me because I'm not the coffee maker at my house, and I've been drinking herb tea because the coffee doesn't appear before 8:30 or so. So it's a struggle, but
Professor
I'm managing.
Marston.
Miss is having a Starbucks close by. There's not really anything too close here. Actually, not just Starbucks though, but any sort of coffee shop. But there are a couple here that are really nice. So, I think there was some misunderstanding about the assignment for this week, because I had intended that you all write at least a paragraph on your predictions about what is taught in American schools, whether it be evolution or intelligent design or creationism, that you would write that, your predictions, and perhaps what you'd learned if you were surprised, and that you would choose which states to talk about today. So there were kind of two parts to that assignment. And but most people, I think, misunderstood and thought that the assignment for this week was only to list the 3 states. So perhaps I didn't say it clearly enough, in which case that's my own fault. So let's go ahead and begin then with the part of the assignment that most people didn't do, was tell me what your predictions were about what students learn in American schools and whether or not your predictions were correct. Let's start. Saule, maybe we can start with you.
Yeah, sorry, Carly. I guess it's not only your fault. I guess our English is not good enough. And my answer was first, and I think this was kind of my fault. Yes, and all girls just did what I did. And my prediction was that in many states in America, in many schools in America, creationism will be part of educational process, and part of my prediction was correct, but not all. I thought that it will depend on how religious is matter in each state, and I guess, but I didn't find the proof for this prediction, and this part of my guess stands just as guessing. And do I have to tell about 3 states right now or later?
Maybe not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
So your prediction was
partly correct.
Creationism.
Creationism, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So you were partly correct. Yeah. So it's sort of a difficult question to answer because the answer is different from state to state.
Yes, 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 yes.
And public school to private school.
To private school, yes.
Yeah, so there are differences. But yeah, your answer was partly correct. Very good. And that's okay. Don't worry about the assignment. I'll try to be clearer in the future. Probably the way that I worded it. I'll be careful in the future so that I make it even clearer. So don't worry.
But also, to be fair, we all looked at it and we didn't pick up on that. But the idea is that we hope that you will write every week something in the blog about a paragraph. That is one of our goals.
Okay.
Great. Lisa, what were your predictions and were they correct?
My prediction was that in South America there are more religious people, and in North America people believe in evolution. I don't find proof of my prediction in this article.
Okay. And what sites did you look at? Did anyone have a look at the Huffington Post website?
On another website?
Yeah, for example, I gave you a list of websites that might be useful. Yeah, I think one of the last ones I listed was there's a page on Huffington Post, and there's an entire sort of board that has headlines that are related to evolution or creationism in U.S. schools. And so you can read about lots of different states there. But your prediction is actually a pretty good prediction. We can't say that it's 100% true, but we can't say that it's 100% false either. I would say that was a good prediction. Wouldn't you think so, Professor Lero and Professor Marston? That's a pretty good prediction.
Yes.
Yep. I would say a relatively accurate prediction. Professor Lero, what do you think? Oh, your microphone's muted. I wonder if there's sort of problem. Okay, anyway. I was hoping to hear from Professor Lero since he and Professor Smith live down south and teach down south. So we'll see, maybe he can give us a little bit of shed some light on the question a bit later. And Katya, what were your predictions?
My prediction was that creationism is more popular in American schools than evolution. And I think I was correct in my prediction. And to that extent, creationism is very popular.
Yeah.
In schools.
Yeah. So that was a good prediction as well, although it's a little bit more of a problematic prediction, but that's why we asked you to make these predictions. There's the definite debate between creationism and evolution, and it seems as though, at least officially, more schools teach evolution than creationism in the United States, but many schools do teach creationism. That's the whole point, is that because the debate exists, there are still quite a few schools that do teach creationism, but many schools teach evolution.
When I was a kid, it was all about evolution because we believed in the Constitution, she says, climbing onto her soapbox. The Constitution is very strong about the separation of church and state. And when I was a kid, we studied evolution in school, and then those of us who went to church heard about creationism of a sort at church. But it wasn't a political question at all. Now, much of our society is politicized, and this is one of the things that has happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting. I was thinking about my own experience. I was trying to remember what I was taught, and really, I don't remember my teachers spending much time at all on the question. I think I read about it a little bit on my own, but I was from a small farming community, relatively religious, pretty religious, and so I think that my teacher was probably afraid to tackle that question, because I can definitely tell you what my family believes. My family believes in creationism. I don't. But just telling my mother, something, I think that humans evolved, and that I don't think it was the work of, some higher being that created us on the sixth day. That sounds like blasphemy to some people. So that's a difficult question. But yeah, I think a lot of teachers, as far as I was reading about this too, many teachers seem to be afraid of the subject, and so they'll kind of gloss over it or not spend a lot of time on it in some cases if they're afraid of how the parents will react, because they can get criticism from both sides.
And theoretically, they could lose their job.
Mm-hmm. But those were good predictions, guys. And if you can see this infographic, the Go Figure Creationism tab, you will need to make it smaller. Make it smaller percentage, so you can see all of it here. And here it breaks down into, I think maybe what we have here to have people to make it a little bit more interactive here is, let's have Katya, you're going to summarize in your own words the by education part of this infographic for the rest of the class.
Where are you?
Okay, we're looking at the Go Figure infographic, and you need to make it a little smaller. I made it 75%.
I see. Okay, there you go.
And then scroll down, and you'll see by education, by political party, by church attendance.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so if we can just spend a couple of minutes. Katya, you're going to take by education. Lisa, you're taking by political party. And Saule, by church attendance. So just look at these statistics. Just take 1 minute, look at these statistics, and then you're going to tell us what people believe, and for example, how it depends upon level of education, how it depends upon political party, how these factors influence what people believe. So just take 1 minute, please, no more, and we'll summarize them in your own words. Are you all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Katya, can you begin?
Maybe I can start.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for
Yeah.
it. Yep.
Okay, by church attendance, there is if we will try to make a conclusion about how opinion about human origins depends on religiosity of people, we can see that most of those who attend church weekly think that God created humans. And the most of them who attend church seldom or never think that humans evolved, and with some guides process, or humans evolved without his participation. But it's not a big percent, and we can see that there is a correlation between religiosity and creationism, but there is no certain and strong correlation between non-religiosity and creationism or evolutionism.
You said there's not a strong correlation?
No, you can see that 26% of those who attend church seldom or never go to church think that humans evolve without God's participation, and some of them, almost the same person, 25, think that God created humans. It's almost equal percent, and it's hard to say that it's not statistically important.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can definitely say that people who are
yes.
This is an interesting use of word, diehard creationists, as in people who really firmly believe in creationism. We can say there is between those there is a very strong correlation between church going.
Yeah. There was my first conclusion that there is a strong correlation between high religiosity, and creationism as attitudes of as people attitude.
And what do you think? Do you think that church attendance has any bearing upon belief of evolution or creationism or intelligent design in Russia?
Maybe I think that we can get almost the same correlation. I send you a link and the results of FOM's research. FOM is a center of studying public opinion. Are almost about the same situation. Most of people who are very attended to church or religious people think that creationism is more popular among them, and so we see that there is certain connection.
Yeah, connection or correlation. Yeah. That's good. I pulled up that link. I'll have a look at that after the class. I have it up in another tab, so I'm going to have a look at it. Thank you for that. That's really useful. And Lisa, are you ready now?
Yes.
Great.
By political party. Almost sorry.
That's okay.
Almost 100% in Republicans, among Republicans, believe that God helped us in creation of our Earth. Only 5% believe that God had no part in this process.
Mhm. Mhm.
In independents and Democrats, the 19% believe that God had no part in this process.
Yeah, it seems surprising.
Other people believe that God helped us.
Mhm. Yeah, so roughly almost 1/5 of both the independent and Democrats interviewed in this survey, 1/5, only 1/5 believe that God had no part in the process, believe completely in evolution, right? Otherwise, both independents and Democrats believe that God is involved in some way in the process, just as in Republicans, right? But we see the 58% of the Republicans surveyed is the highest listed, right? 58% believing that God created humans in the present form within the last 10,000 years. The language here, in the present form within the last 10,000 years, that's really important because that shows, for example, the difference between pure creationism, here all the way to the right, pure evolution, and this here, humans evolved God-guided process. This would be more along the lines of intelligent design. Intelligent design. Yeah. Very good. And what do you think about the Russian case, Lisa? Do you think that people's beliefs depend upon their political affiliation?
Well, political people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I never ask this question. Or any political person, but I think that our political leaders are religious people, but maybe they think they believe in evolution too.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a difference between, for example, Единая Россия or Яблоко, for example, and what sorts of beliefs that people have on this subject? Just for an example.
Единая Россия.
If you had to guess.
I can't predict.
Okay, I won't pressure you too much. I'm just curious if you associate one party with more conservative views, for example. For example, there's a party that has very conservative religious views, and there's a party that tends to be more associated with liberalism, liberal views. This could be a question for anyone, too, for Saule or Katya, if you have any ideas about this as well.
I think we have to remember social characteristic of сторонники, how to say in English, сторонники, последователи, followers of the parties that you named, and for Единая Россия, it's always its typical follower is woman who older than 55, and with no who ended high school or less. She has no high level of education. Yeah. And if we try to guess that the less education has not human, has person. The less education pure person has, the more he believes in creationism. So on these two bases, we can guess that some followers of Единая Россия can be followers of creationism too. But it's just a guess. There's no some special research for this.
Yeah.
I will try to find them, but I don't think that this correlation was investigated.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear your own sort of predictions. I realize that I'm asking you questions without giving you time to research it. I understand that.